All right, fabulous ladies and gents. I hope you did all right yesterday on your adding and subtracting fractions. Today we're going to look at some mixed numbers with adding and subtracting fractions, and also with that almighty regrouping when the fractions need to be borrowed and regrouped, and we're going to look at the strategies that we talked about in class as well. So let's go over two specific examples before you head off onto your practice problems. All right, let's look at this first one. When the whole number and fraction are together, that creates that mixed number. So we're going to use the same strategy we did when we worked on them yesterday with the regular fractions. I'm going to rewrite them vertically to give me some more space and to keep my work nice and neat. Notice the whole numbers are lined up just because there's nothing here. That just means there's no whole numbers. It's just 3/4. Now the denominators are different, so I know I'm going to have to change those denominators. I'm going to bring this whole number right over that equal sign so I don't lose it. And then we're going to find that common denominator. Right? Our denominators are 3 and 4. So let's find our common. Let's find our multiples of 3 first. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, stop, 4, 8, 12. There's our common multiple right there, 12. Right, so let's change our denominators to 12. Oops, and you lost me. I'm not quite sure what happened. Hold on 1 second. Why'd you lose me? Oh, there we go. We're back again. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go back big again. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at these denominators. If I'm going from 4 to 12, I'm going to do 4 times 3 is 12. What I do down, I also have to do on the top. 3 times 3 is 9. So 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. All right, we're going to change this third to 12. So times 4 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we can add 4 ninths plus 12, or 4 twelfths plus 9 twelfths is 13 twelfths. And 2 plus 0 is 2. Now we have an improper fraction, so we need to fix that. So 13 twelfths, we don't want to lose the 2, but we're going to change 13 twelfths. I can get 1/12 out of 13, and I'm left behind with 1/12. Together that would make 3 and 1/12. Okay? All right, so now this, if you remember correctly, when we did these lovely problems down below, we used two strategies, and you had to choose which strategy worked best for you. I want you to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to show you both strategy examples so that there's an example for each one of you, but you choose the one that works best for you. All right, so our first strategy. When I rewrite this problem, 3 and 1/4 minus 1 and 5/8, I notice that 5/8 is bigger than 1/4. And if the bottom number is larger than the top in a subtraction problem, I cannot do that subtraction. So I have to either regroup, borrow, or I'm going to make these into improper fractions. Okay, so the first thing, we have to have common denominators. So let's create our common denominators. What's our common denominator between 4 and 8? Let's do it real quick. This one's an easy one because you don't have to go very far. 8 is our common denominator. So we're going to make both of these fractions into 8s. This did not change, so our 5 can just slide right over. This is times 2 times 2. Okay, so now I see 5/8 is bigger than 2/8, so I cannot do that subtraction problem. So in this strategy, the first one, we're going to make them improper. If you remember to make a fraction improper, and I'm going to slide this down so we can make it a little bigger. 3 and 2/8 as an improper fraction. We're going to multiply 8 times 3 is 24. Add the top, 25, 26. That becomes our new numerator, and the denominator stays the same. So 3 and 2/8 is the same thing as 26/8. We're going to do the same with 1 and 5/8. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So this becomes 13/8. Now I can subtract. This 3 and 1 have now been embedded into the fraction when I turned it into an improper fraction, so I don't have to subtract them again. So 26 minus 13 is 13. Denominator stays the same. Once I finish subtracting, now I need to place it back into a mixed number. So how many 8s go into 13? 1. What's left when I take an 8 out of 13? 5. And 8 remains the same. 1 and 5/8. Okay? So that's if you want to turn it into an improper fraction. Now, the other strategy is borrowing and regrouping. Same problem. 3 and 1/4 minus 1 and 5/8. Our first step is always the same. We're going to create those common denominators first. If you remember, our common denominator was 8. This stayed the same, so the 5 just slides over. 4 times 2 is 8, so 1 times 2 is 2. And you notice that's exactly the same as we did over here. It's the same first step. There's nothing different about it. There and there, same step. Now the difference comes this next step. If you don't want to go improper, but you're going to regroup, just like in whole number subtraction, when you can't take the bottom number from the top, you go to the next place and borrow. So we're going to take 1 from this 3, so the 3 becomes a 2. Now the 1 that we take is going to be in the form of 8s because we want to be able to add it to what's already there. So the 1 that we took away from the 3 is in the form of an 8/8. We're going to add it to what's already there, 8/8 plus 2/8, and that makes 10/8. Okay? So 3 and 2/8 is the same thing as 2 and 10/8, because if I were to take this improper fraction and change it back, it would become 1 and 2/8. Added to the 2 would be 3 and 2/8. Then we leave the bottom exactly the same, and we subtract. 10/8 minus 5/8 is 5/8, and 2 minus 1 is 1. And you'll notice we got the exact same answer. So that strategy is up to you. If you're going to use improper, you need to change both fractions into improper fractions before subtracting. If you're regrouping, first make common denominators, then regroup. Take 1 away from the whole, and the 1 that you take away has to be in the shape of whatever the denominator is, so you can add it to what's already there. So in this case, it was 8/8. Okay? Do the best you can on your practice problems today. You have 15 listed. You're going to either choose odd or even numbers to submit to me. So altogether, you should have 7 problems that you need to do. Please show me your work, and if you get stuck or have any trouble, just email me and let me know you need my help. Good luck.